Good evening and welcome to VTV News. I'm Sophie, Jeong.
And I'm Swathi Ganesh in for Diana Charlotte.
Over fall break, a small group of Vanderbilt freshmen, sophomores, and juniors were picked to travel to Washington, D.C. together with Vanderbilt Student Media. Field reporter Claire Burnett brings us a story of their unique experience.
Hey, I'm Claire Barnett reporting for VTV News from Washington, D.C., where 12 lucky Vanderbilt undergraduates have had the opportunity to meet with alumni working in journalism. The group visited CNN, National Public Radio, or NPR, and the Washington Post. They received personalized tours and information about possibly working in the field of journalism. While on their trip, Vanderbilt alum and CNN Washington Bureau Chief Sam Feist explained to the students why he thinks that journalism is so important.
I'm a big believer that our government, our democracy, really relies on journalists. Without journalists, who's going to provide a check on the people in power, whether that be political leaders or business leaders? Our job is to ask the tough questions, to provide a check on those who want to run our country or those who do run our country. And I think the system was designed with journalists in mind. That's why the First Amendment was the First Amendment. That our founding fathers realized that unless there were journalists out there empowered to ask the tough questions, to provide that check on the government wouldn't work right. It would be corrupt. It would be corruptible. And so there's a reason for the First Amendment, and we live it and breathe it every day.
On Friday, October 21st, the night before the homecoming game, hundreds of Vanderbilt students excitedly waited outside of Memorial Gym in anticipation of Commodore Quake. This year's Quake featured rappers A$AP Ferg and Big Sean. Both artists were definitely a crowd pleaser as they sported their Vanderbilt gear and gave off a sense of excitement that spread contagiously throughout the room.
The first mental health survey conducted at Vanderbilt was released Monday, October 24th. The Healthy Mind survey takes around 30 minutes to complete. It consists of multiple choice questions created by a group of researchers at the University of Michigan. The questions focus on familiarity and thoughts regarding mental health and mental health services around campus. The results are meant to benefit student well-being across campus. All graduate and undergraduate students will receive an email containing the survey. It will remain open for the next 3 weeks. $100 gift cards will be given to 10 random students who complete the survey.
This month, approximately $35,000 in grants will be given to randomly selected students. Experience Vanderbilt will be distributing the funding. The student organization is committed to offering funding for involvement in campus extracurricular activities. Students on financial aid are encouraged to apply. In the first phase, 1,140 students applied and 109 students will be receiving grants. Greek Life members held the largest number of requests. Students also received funding for arts and culture, club sports, recreation, and service. Overall, the goal is for Experience Vanderbilt to transform undergraduate immersion for those with financial restraints.
The Tennessee Education Research Alliance is a joint effort of Vanderbilt's Peabody College of Education and Human Development, and with the formation of a new alliance between Vandy and the Tennessee Department of Education, a series of rigorous research studies will begin. These studies will be carried out primarily to help decide on new education policy and practice to address important educational problems. Currently, the 4 areas of focus are improving early reading, reimagining state support for professional learning, driving improvement in low-performing schools, and strengthening Tennessee's education labor market. Hopefully, with the collaborative research being done, we can see positive changes in the future of these areas.
In order to help embrace the inclusion of diverse backgrounds and perspectives, a new postdoctoral program training initiative is being taken. This program is called the Academic Pathways Postdoctoral Fellowship, and it will emphasize research and scholarship, but also leadership and professionalism. This program was made possible by a generous grant from the National Science Foundation, and this grant will be shared with Fisk University and Wake Forest University to pilot the same program. If successful, this program should help provide a more diverse staff in STEM fields, including underrepresented minorities and women.
One of the opening rounds of the International Holt Prize Challenge will be hosted at Vanderbilt. The Turner Family Center for Social Ventures will sponsor the event. The student-led organization is committed to relieving poverty through enterprise. The Holt Prize, promoted as a Nobel Prize for students, awards $1 million in seed capital for the best business plan. The goal is to solve the issue of poverty faced by millions around the world. Students this year are challenged to create social projects to decrease the cost of involuntary human migration. Teams of 3 to 4 students will present 7-minute synopses of their plans. Students will complete in several rounds for many months until a winner is declared. The Holt Prize at Vanderbilt event will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Wandery and Vanderbilt Innovation Pavilion on November 7th. Now for this week's sports news, here's VTV News sports correspondent Evan Mercer.
Hi, I'm Evan Mercer in from Madison Folio, and this is your weekly sports update. The Vanderbilt football team began its first winning streak of the Derek Mason era this past Saturday as they defeated Tennessee State 35-17 in Vanderbilt Stadium. It looked scary at first as TSU got on the board first with a 93-yard catch down the sideline for a touchdown. Fortunately, Vanderbilt answered quickly as Kyrie Blasingame ran a yard up the middle for a touchdown following a 46-yard run from Ralph Webb. From there, the Commodores finished the game smoothly with Webb earning 125 rushing yards for the night and Blasingame racking up 100 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, his first 100-yard game of his career. As of now, the Commodores have a 4-4 record with 4 games remaining on the schedule. They will take it easy with the bye week this weekend, but they will be preparing for the tough game at Auburn the following weekend. Next, this Sunday, the Vanderbilt soccer team emerged victorious against Ole Miss in its last home game of the 2016 season with a score of 4-1 Vanderbilt. In the first half, Ole Miss got on the board quickly with a beautiful goal, but Vanderbilt answered quickly as Sidney O'Donnell put the ball in the back of the net a few minutes later. Going into the second half, Vanderbilt's Claire Anderson gave the Commodores their first lead of the night as she scored 1 minute into the half. Later on, Jackie Welch nailed another one, extending the Commodores' lead 3-1. But Vanderbilt still wasn't done yet. Hannah Evers decided to get on the action as she scored her first goal of the game in the 77th minute, with the Commodore winning 4-1. The Vanderbilt women's soccer team will be traveling to the University of Alabama tonight to play their final game of the regular season. From there, the team will then travel down to Orange Beach, Alabama next week to compete in the SEC tournament. Vanderbilt baseball canceled its annual Black and Gold series this weekend due to multiple injuries. The 3-game series was originally scheduled Friday through Sunday at First Tennessee Park, while Vanderbilt's new baseball team facility is under construction. Instead, the Commodores have ended fall practice on a quiet note. Vanderbilt's news release said its roster is unable to field 2 adequate teams for the 3-game series due to multiple injuries, which led to cancellation of the series. Finally, the men and women's cross-country team will be traveling to the University of Arkansas to compete in the SEC Championship. The women will be looking for a repeat of last year's success after finishing 3rd in the conference championship meet a year ago. However, Arkansas is the defending SEC cross-country championship on both the men's and women's sides. The Razorback men have won the last 6 SEC championships and 23 in the last 25 years, but we're looking for our Doors to have a great meet. That's all for sports this week on Vanderbilt. For live updates on scores, stats, or photos, visit vucommodores.com. For VTV News, I'm Evan Mercer.
Thanks, Evan. Now for this week's weather, here's VTV News weather correspondent Tajeira Bonner.
Happy Halloween! I'm Tajeira Bonner and this is your 10-day forecast. A 10% chance of precipitation means a 100% chance of sun. All this week, the temperature will be around the 80s. With a 50% increase in the chance of precipitation next Saturday, next weekend might be a bit gloomy, so don't forget your umbrellas. The weather will possibly pick up later in the week. This is Tajeira Bonner with VTV News. Have a haunted holiday.
That's all for tonight's broadcast. Thanks for watching VTV News. I'm Sophie Jeong.
And I'm Swathi Ganesh. Tune in next week for more top stories.